The Delphic Dancers by Claude Debussy. This isn't necessarily the kind of sound we would associate with Debussy, but actually there are many important elements that define his style, even within those first four measures. It's based on the dancers of Delphi, also known as the Arcanthus column, and they're three figures in high relief on top of a column found near the sanctuary of Pythian Apollo in Delphi. And of course, Debussy was aware of this in Paris. And the mythology in ancient Greece was a very common theme for him. You know, he wrote some suites which related to that as well. This is the image of the statue with the three dancers there. This piece has a lot of the hallmarks of Debussy. Very clear diatonic, meaning within a chord. This is a B flat major chord. Now that happens to be an augmented chord. And then he takes us to another augmented chord. So, but they're in parallel, they're planed, meaning they're one in succession after another. On his piano, which is at Brive-le-Gaillard in France, and I played a concert on it, and I'll provide a link to that. I could put down the pedal, and it would have sounded clear. Now, of course, not on this piano. But you hear how these distinct chord colors give it a very unique quality. Where's the melody? Embedded within. As is common with Debussy, he repeats it because he was very influenced by classical phrases, those of Mozart and Haydn and Beethoven, where you had this kind of repetition. Then he goes on. Theme section. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures instead of the customary 4 or 8 measures. So he's working 5, incidentally, is something that Scriabin did this. Chopin used 5s in groups. So it's interesting he doesn't have a symmetrical. But then, as we notice here, we have the chords. Notice how one after another is just simply stated. This B flat, D minor, D minor, D minor, G minor, C major, which really stands out, D minor, B flat, C, and then it takes us to F. And that seems really a point of stasis. It's very calming, it's very stable. Because we've got a B flat major key signature, it feels like we're in B flat, and yet in the first phrase he takes us to the dominant, a very tonal sort of a thing. This is what any well-behaving, sonata might do when it goes to the second theme. It would go from the tonic to the dominant. So we've gone from this B flat finally to F, the dominant. Then we go on with the second statement. Now here, it's different. We still have the same thing, but he's divided it. It's now emphasized with this octave, and he has this going to the chords, the same chord progression. So this is a way that a composer develops the material they've started with. He ends it the same way with the same F major. Now that we've done it twice, what's going to happen? So now we have a new theme idea. He keeps this same textural layering. You see how we have these layers of the octaves and the chords. At the beginning, you see how it was very chordal. Then in the second statement, he started this. Now he does this here, but now it's with a secondary thematic material. Same idea. A lone sentinel C. Where is it going to take us? C could be part of any chords. It could be part of the F. It could be part of C. It could be part of an A flat. He takes us to this A flat. C. Now he takes us back to the F, the dominant. So what do I mean by a C can take us anywhere? I mean, you could argue, if I play a C scale, we could go anywhere, right? Well, for instance, in a C major chord, it's comprised of C, E, G, so C would be the tonic, the root of that. If I'm in F, FAC, C is actually the fifth, the highest note. This is C, E, G. This is FAC. Instead here, for the exoticism that he wants of these ancient times, of these Delphic dancers, of this ancient statue, instead of going to F or C, he uses the C in the middle to go to A flat. What composer does that sound like? Well, Wagner did what we call third related keys because they're third apart. So, you know, Debussy doesn't tend to do the expected. So we have our A flat. He's preserving the layers with the octaves. Now G minor. Now to the D. Now we go C, and now we go to the F. So what he's done is he's gone A flat, down a step to G, and then down a step to F. Then he has a fermata, a bird's eye here to show us there's a bit of a structural pause. And then we go on. We always do it twice. More texture, more chord. Now that sounded interesting, didn't it? It wasn't simply our B flat, our C, and our F, or even just our A flat. We have the B flat, then we have a D flat. Again, it's this third related. Then we have F major, A major, C, E major, now to our B flat, which is the tonic, the harmony of this piece. And instead of F, this should be a dominant. Remember how it was augmented at the beginning? He raises the fifth to C sharp to give it that special, which is actually part of a whole tone scale. Well, we have a tritone, and we have a seventh, then we have a ninth and a second. He gives it a certain dissonance. The way he plays it, pianissimo, it isn't so dissonant. He's minimizing it, but it's a bit of a foil because he's using this dissonant interval very, very delicately. It's quite beautiful. F, B flat, 5-1. Debussy has these 5-1 allusions all throughout the preludes. This Delphic Dancers, by the way, is the first prelude from Book 1. He starts the set this way. 5-1. Question that we're in the key of B flat for this. Anyway, this is the Delphic Dancers of Claude Debussy. Thanks for listening.